When I tell you vision boarding is so fucking serious, it actually is that fucking serious that I would go ahead and laminate it myself with tape. Very poorly, obviously, but it's that serious. It's not too late for y'all, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how I did mine, what the process is behind it, because there's a whole science behind it, and it's important that you do it correctly. So, first of all, I would go into Pinterest or whatever search engine you like for images, and I'll create a 2026 folder and save all the images that spark up an emotion in me, whether that's like excitement or I just naturally feel drawn to them and attracted to those images. At that point, I'm not being selective at all, and it's like I'm acting out of intuition. Any picture I like, I just put it in the folder. Then I'll probably let the folder sit for like 2 or 3 days. I'm not looking at it, I'm not thinking about it. I'll go back into it, and at that second stage of the process, I'll be very intentional, and I will select 35 to 50 pictures, sometimes maybe more, I feel like this one had more, that I actually want to print out and stick on the final vision board. And you have to be like very intentional about this, because you're gonna have to look at those images for the next 12 months of your fucking life. So I always choose pictures that, I don't know, like when I look at them, I feel some kind of joy. Then it's very, very important that you do this physically and you don't just make a collage on your computer and then you print it out. Because think about it, if you're not even gonna be able to take 1 or 2 hours out of your fucking year to make a vision board, how do you expect any of this to happen? Like, you have to put in a little bit of effort. The placement also has to be intentional, and I feel that's like where a lot of people fall short, because they'll just stick beautiful images wherever. But no, what I like to do is use the corners and divide the images in like 4 different themes. So this right corner is dedicated to like relationships, lifestyle, so self-care, friendship, where I want to be in the world. This is dedicated to my work life and my career. This side is dedicated to personal growth, but it's divided in 2 different categories. And the nice thing about it is like all the images will end up kind of blending into each other, because all your ambitions and desires are interconnected, and they all fall under this overarching goal of mine, which is to be disciplined in 2026. Something I didn't do last year, but I did this year, is finding an overarching goal, because I feel like it's a reminder of what you strive for every single day. So let's say your overarching goal this year is to be more authentic, or is to let go of other people's opinions of you. Then you put that in the middle, and that's what matters most for this year. For me personally, this year is about discipline, right? So then you end up with like a very clear vision board. It doesn't look clear to other people, but to me, like, this is very readable, and I know exactly where to look for what kind of motivation. And that's how everything you put on your vision board ends up happening, because this is 2025. I went to New York, I worked on sets, I did photo shoots, I made a magazine. I started working on music at the end of 2025, but I still did it. Literally everything that I put on this vision board happened, so I know for a fact it's gonna happen for 2026 too. That's it, and that's all, period. When I tell you vision boarding is so fucking serious,